National Nutrition Natural Health Reviews. 3 minutes of the latest naturopathic info with Canada's leading nutrition experts. Watch, learn, and get healthy naturally.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Beatty, naturopathic doctor and a health expert here at nationalnutrition.ca. Now, anybody who knows me personally knows I'm a bit of a rabid environmentalist, and a big part behind that and what's motivated me to have that stance is in my practice I see a lot of environmental illnesses. This is something that most of our medical society has overlooked as a major cause of disease. I mean, we talk about environmental toxins and we often forget that toxin literally means it interferes with a normal physiological process. In fact, in Canada, lead is still considered by many to be the leading cause of developmental delay in children. In fact, recent studies in the Toronto area showed that up to 10% of our municipal water still has toxic levels of lead in it when it comes out of the tap in your house. I mean, we're talking about 2017 now, and we still have to deal with, a large exposure to toxins in our environment. In fact, there's up to 60,000 chemicals that are banned for sale in some countries that are actually legally allowed to be sold in Canada and the United States that we're then exposed to. And the reason they're banned in these other countries is because they are harmful to human health. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about environmental illness. It's illness enacted upon us by our environment. Just the other day, I was reading an article that showed Wi-Fi signals can actually quadruple the release of mercury from amalgams in your mouth. So if you've got those old silver fillings, previously you didn't have Wi-Fi exposure. But now since we have Wi-Fi all around us pretty much at all times, what they've discovered is that the Wi-Fi signal actually increases the mercury that comes out of the amalgam in your mouth. So there's all sorts of impacts in our environment that can affect us negatively and lead to the development of illness. So if you're worried about exposure, there are some things we can control and some things we can't. I always say focus on the toxins that you can control. And with that, you want to do things like limit your ingestion of foods that are cooked in plastic or used in plastics. In Ontario, for instance, they've banned BPA, which is bisphenol A, in any type of plastic product that might go in a child's mouth. People think that we have an overall BPA ban and that it's no longer in plastics, when in actuality it's only banned in plastic products that either contain children's food or may go in a child's mouth. And weirdly, anybody who has a kid knows toys or something kids put in their mouth, it's not even necessarily banned in children's toy if it's not a toy intended to be put in the mouth. Although kids don't really care what their intention is, they just like to taste things as a way to experience their environment. So I always try and say limit your exposures to plastics when possible because of BPA and phthalates and a variety of other toxic chemicals that can be in them. So that's one thing you can do in your environment to control your toxic exposure. Get a water filtration system. It doesn't have to be the fanciest thing in the world. It doesn't have to be some really expensive, really complex machine. A simple, filtration pitcher can be effective enough to remove the majority of the toxins from your water and just reduce your exposure and reduce your toxic load coming in. Then there are things that you can do to help your body manage these toxins, things that you can use that can help your body to convert a toxic chemical into its non-toxic form. So that's that process of detoxification. Things you're going to want to look at: chlorella. Chlorella is a chelator. It actually helps bind toxins for their elimination from the body. It can be effective in the removal of lead, arsenic, and mercury out of the human body. I often use chlorella with my patients, and it's something I personally take on a regular basis. I'll cycle it through in my supplements every couple months just to try and clean myself out and prevent any accumulation of environmental toxins within my system. I also recommend supplementing with vitamin C and B vitamins to support the detoxification enzymes to reduce the impact that these environmental toxins have on our system and help reduce your exposure and reduce your development of environmental illnesses. And of course, the last and easiest one is, whenever possible, shop organic. That across all boards. We're talking beauty care products, we're talking food products, anything you might put on or in yourself ideally should be organic. Why? Well, pesticides and herbicides, they work because they're toxic. They interfere with normal biological processes and they create damage. And what we see is over our lives an accumulation of these toxic products into the human system that decreases its normal function, interferes with its normal function, and creates environmental illness. So whenever possible, shop organic. And people say, yeah, but shopping organic can be expensive. You're right, it can be. But the more we purchase organic, the higher the consumer demand is, the costs are going to come down over time, and we're going to get more access to more organic products, and that's going to reflect in society with better overall health. So I hope you've learned a little bit today about environmental illness, and I hope some of the tips that I've given you are going to help you avoid any type of environmental illness, because remember, that ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So share this video with anyone you think might be interested in the content. Any questions or comments can be posted below. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all sorts of different health topics. And as always, be sure to remember, knowledge is health.